Can hackers really hijack an airplane? Imagine you are sitting on a passenger plane at 305,000 feet. Suddenly, the pilots lost control of the aircraft. The screen starts changing. The autopilot behaves strangely. And someone on the ground claims they have hacked the airplane. Sounds like a Hollywood movie, right? But here's the real question. Can hackers actually hijack a modern passenger airplane? The answer is more complicated than you might think. Modern aircraft are incredibly connected machines. They contain flight computers, navigation systems, communication systems, entertainment systems, and hundreds of sensors. So naturally, people ask, if computers control an airplane, could a hacker control the airplane too? The short answer is, it's theoretically possible for cyber attacks to affect aviation systems. But remotely taking complete control of a modern passenger aircraft is extremely difficult. Here's why. Part 1. The airplane is not just one computer. One of the biggest misconceptions is that an airplane has one central computer controlling everything. It doesn't. A modern commercial aircraft contains many different computer systems. Flight controls, navigation, engine management, communications, and passenger entertainment are handled by different systems. And these systems are designed with separation and security in mind. That means an attacker who compromises one system doesn't automatically gain control of everything else. Think of it like a building with multiple secure rooms. Getting into the lobby doesn't mean you can enter the control room. Aircraft designers use similar principles to isolate critical systems. Part 2. What about the Wi-Fi? Now you might be thinking, but passengers can connect to Wi-Fi on board. Couldn't a hacker use the Wi-Fi to take over the plane? Passenger Wi-Fi is a potential cybersecurity concern. But connecting to the internet doesn't mean you are directly connected to the aircraft flight control computers. Airlines and aircraft manufacturers use network separation and security controls to prevent passenger-facing systems from simply accessing critical flight systems. So even if someone manages to compromise an onboard entertainment or connectivity system, that does not automatically mean they can control the aircraft. And that's an important distinction. Part 3. Can cyber attacks still affect aviation? Absolutely. Cybersecurity is a serious issue in aviation. But an attack doesn't necessarily mean someone is flying the airplane remotely. Cyber attacks could potentially target airline websites, reservation systems, airport infrastructure, communication networks, or other supporting systems. For example, an airline's IT systems could be disrupted. Passengers might be unable to check in. Flights could be delayed. Airport operations could be affected. These attacks can cause enormous disruption without anyone ever gaining control of an aircraft. In other words, hacking aviation doesn't necessarily mean hacking the airplane. Part 4. What if someone targets the aircraft itself? Aircraft cybersecurity becomes even more important as airplanes become increasingly digital and connected. Modern aircraft rely heavily on software and computerized systems. That creates another layer of risk. That's why aircraft manufacturers, airlines, regulators, and cybersecurity researchers constantly test these systems for vulnerabilities. Security isn't based on one single defense. It's based on multiple layers. Network separation, access controls, authentication, monitoring, software security, physical security, and strict procedures for maintenance and updates. The goal is simple. Even if one layer is compromised, the attacker should not be able to move freely into the systems that matter most. Part 5. Could a hacker take over the plane? So, can a hacker sit thousands of miles away and simply take control of a Boeing or Airbus aircraft? There is no simple yes or no. Researchers have demonstrated cybersecurity vulnerabilities in aviation systems under controlled conditions. But demonstrating that a component can be influenced in a laboratory or highly controlled environment is very different from remotely taking complete control of a passenger aircraft in normal operation. Commercial aircraft have multiple layers of protection, redundancy, isolation, and operational procedures. And pilots aren't simply depending on one computer. They have independent instruments, procedures, communication systems, and multiple ways to respond to abnormal situations. So the next time you connect to airplane Wi-Fi, don't imagine that you are one click away from becoming the pilot. The bigger cybersecurity threat to aviation isn't necessarily a hacker suddenly grabbing the controls. It's the possibility of cyber attacks disrupting the complex digital ecosystem that keeps airlines and airports running. And as aviation becomes more connected, cybersecurity will become just as important as physical safety. Because the future of aviation isn't only about flying higher and faster. It's also about keeping the computers that support those flights secure. Would you trust an airplane that was completely controlled by software? Let me know in the comments. And subscribe for more aviation technology and safety explained.